What's up, my fellow Strifians? How are you doing? Now, as you probably can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be talking about some suggestions that I have for the game. But before I get into that, I would like to actually take some time and thank S2 Games for what they have been doing. Because they are actually making an AOS game that focuses on implementing mechanics and remaking things that we have come to know from other MOBAs or AOS games, whichever term you prefer, and just making sure that everyone has a good time while playing. That is, it's nice to see that someone actually has the courage to do something like that, and yeah, I really think that you're setting a good example for all sorts of competitive games. Also, looking into the future, I hope that people will play Strife and be like, well, this is what we want to do with our games as well, because, you know what, we're actually having genuinely fun while playing this game. So, yeah, it's awesome that you're doing this. You have created the best community that I've ever seen around one of these games. So thanks a lot for that S2 Games. Keep rocking. But yeah, with that being said, I think that you also deserve some scolding for the things that you're doing bad. Nah, I'm just kidding. But anyway, let's get to the suggestions. Now, the first addition that I would like to suggest is Leaderboards. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that many of you can agree with me that Leaderboards are exciting to play around. It gives you a goal, it gives you a purpose with your gameplay, and it also allows you to see, well, it really creates sort of a community-wide competition between all of the players. And I would actually like to have a pretty detailed leaderboard in Strife. That would be awesome. For example, you should be able to sort between all of the different heroes that you play. And you can sort by, for example, your KDA, your win rates, average GPM, maybe even games played. I don't know, like just basically see how you're doing or how you're faring against all of the other players that are playing the game based on the hero of your liking, basically. Now, there should also, in my opinion, be a second leaderboard where you can actually sort players by MMR. Now, as far as I've understood it, you do get a separate MMR from for each hero that you play. And that means that, for example, your Carter might be in Diamond League while your Trixie is in Silver League, for example. And that would be super cool, because that would mean that in this sort of a leaderboard, when you can see your own MMR, others' MMRs, etc., you can actually hold multiple spots in that leaderboard. I mean, for example, your Rook could be rank 36 in the global MMR leaderboard, while your Moxie might be like rank 600 or something. So that would be super cool to see how you're faring with all of your heroes, basically, overall, as compared to how other people are faring with all of theirs. And another leaderboard that I was thinking of, just to basically encourage good behavior even further than S2 is already doing, is a commend leaderboard. Now, that might sound a little bit weird to you, but it's basically the player that gets the most commends out of every game, and you would obviously have to remake the commend system for that, because you can commend your friends after every game you play with him, and that should not be possible if you are gonna have this kind of a leaderboard. But just to see who's the generally most appreciated player to have on your team from all of the Strife games that you play. So, how would this leaderboard work, or how can I take part in it, you might ask? And my thoughts on this, of course, it's up to S2 to decide how this is going to be done, but My thoughts on this is that it should be introduced at the same time as ranked play. Like at level 25, you get introduced to both ranked play and leaderboards. You should be able to choose whether or not you want to be part of these leaderboards. Because if for some reason you find leaderboards if you're uncomfortable with the thought of it, then maybe you don't want to take part in it, you might not want to compare yourself to others, maybe you just want to enjoy the game and that hinders you from doing it. And if that's the case, then of course you shouldn't be forced to take part in it. But if you want to, at that point you can, I guess, check in an option or something to take part in the leaderboards. And I think that's a very important point, that everyone should choose whether or not they want to be part of it, of course. Now the next thing that I would like to suggest as far as in-client things go, I would love to see a team/clan system in the actual client. We do have the ability to change our names, of course, and add a team tag to our names, but that is nowhere near the same thing. I would love to see a page, even for every team in the client. I would like to see a function to match up against other teams or clans if you're part of one yourself. To just scrim, find scrims really easily, etc. And to even have a ranking leaderboard for this as well would be amazing. It would add another way for new teams to practice and to improve themselves overall. And yeah, another thing that I would also like to see is more quests, because I think that the quests as they are, it's very lackluster, it's very limited overall. And I mean, like, you gotta win like 10 games weekly or whatever, that's one quest. But you also have like, one quest is to win 300 games. And I mean, that's quite the leap from like 10 games to 300. That's insane. Should add like something in between, maybe 50 wins, 100 wins, then 300 wins, maybe. And overall, I feel like, yeah, there's a lot that could be done with the quest system. We have in most FPSs these days, or actually I don't know if it's in most. I have never really played Call of Duty myself, but I know that it's in Titanfall, it's in it's been in Halo, it's been, you know, they have sort of a challenge system. So every week you get different challenges, or actually every day you get different challenges that you need to complete, either in campaign or in multiplayer or whatever, and then you gain like extra experience or extra, you know what I'm talking about. And that would be super cool if you would add that to this game, because I really liked doing those things in other games. So that system, the quest system as a whole, has a lot of potential, but I feel at this stage it's very limited or even insignificant. Now, as far as gameplay goes, I would actually like to start this off by suggesting a new game mode. It's sort of a World of Warcraft stylish arena game mode. If you've ever played arena in World of Warcraft, you'll know what I'm talking about. In this case, I would like for it to be 5 versus 5. You would be placed in an arena. I guess that you could have multiple maps for it. It would be pretty cool if you could, but it's okay if it's just one map, I guess. Maybe you would be given around 10k gold or something like that. You would not be gaining any more gold, it's just basically to have some gold to spend and to add some sort of diversity in the kinds of builds that you can go for. That's why you're given gold in the beginning. You will get 1 minute to prepare, buy some stuff, you know, and then you duke it out on the map. 5 versus 5 team fights. The arena should also have like uphill/downhill areas to make, yeah, map advantages, positions that you should not engage in. My suggestion would be that it would be taken in rounds, so that once you're dead for the rest of the round. This could also bring in sort of new things to, or new ways of doing it. Like, for example, in this mode you could have increased out of combat region, so that if you actually manage to get away, or if your teammates save you or whatever, then you could actually regen faster and get back into the combat. So that would be super punishing for the enemy team if they fail. It would just be pure player versus player combat, no distractions in between. It would be super fun, and it would definitely improve your abilities as a player to fight player versus player. And yeah, I guess it could be like a best of 5 rounds or something like that. That would probably work out pretty well as far as game length goes. Now, this is another suggestion that I have, but it has nothing to do with a new game mode or anything. It's just normal gameplay. And I've asked for this many times. I don't know if I've ever even complained about it a little bit in my videos from time to time. It's that I would love to be able to interrupt my spellcasts. Please, S2, would you find it in your heart to do this? Because I know that it's just a little bit of whine from someone who's used to a function, and I fully understand if you don't want this to be possible, but for a game that actually, how can you put it? For a game like Strife, that wants players to enjoy their experiences more than most other games in this genre, then I don't think it makes sense that you can interrupt spellcasts in Dota if you know that you're gonna miss them, but you can't do it in Strife. That's actually more punishing in Strife. So I don't know, but I think that should definitely be possible. Just press the stop key while you're about to cast a spell and you interrupt it. If it's not an instantly activating spell, of course. But yeah, I would love to see this, and I hope that you do find it a good idea as well. And this is the last of my suggestions, which has to do with gameplay as well. And it has to do with the observatories placed around the map that act as wards would act in other games of this genre. I think that it's a brilliant idea. I think that it definitely encourages moving out as a team in order to gain map control. I also think that it encourages less flaming due to you know, it never really happens. You can't blame your supports for never buying wards, and yeah, that's one of the main reasons to why supports are more fun to play in this game compared to other games of this genre. Now, with that being said, I think that it's a little bit of an incomplete feature in the game as it stands. I'm not even sure if most of you agree with me on that, but I feel like it's a bit weird that the enemies can capture your observatory instantly by walking up to it. Getting an observatory is and can be a very big advantage in many situations. But as long as, you know, every hero has these different mobility abilities. They have, almost every hero in the game has these gap closers or escape mechanisms. You can also get a bounder, which will help you out with that. You can also get rocket boots, you know, and when it's that easy to basically get away and get out of position, considering the vision that these observatories provide, I feel like it's not as much of a risk that it needs to be to take over an observatory. It's too easy, as simple as that, to take them over and just get away, gaining a hell of an advantage. And that's why I feel like maybe it should take about 5 seconds for you to capture an observatory. No matter if it's a neutral one or if it's an observatory that your enemies currently are in control of. I feel like it should definitely be a little bit of a timer before you have captured it, basically. So you put yourself at risk by doing this. For new players, there's not much of an incentive to go and take over observatories. There's no reason for them to do this. They don't understand the point of it. Now, what I would also like to suggest is that if you put yourself on risk for doing this, for taking this over, then maybe you should gain a temporary movement speed buff or something like that, so that new players and also those experienced players that put themselves at risk doing this actually get a bonus for doing it. So you could have like a 5 to 10 second movement speed burst, where it's like, yeah, you go crazy. You can move quickly around the map, etc. So I feel like that would be a good idea, perhaps, to make it more worthwhile spending your time taking them over. Now, I think that's all that I had to say. All of the suggestions that I have regarding the game. As I stated before I started getting into the suggestions, I think that this is a brilliant game in so many aspects. I really hope that more games take after you guys, look at what you've done and appreciate it. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing where Strife goes in the future, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. Thanks again, S2, keep rocking, and to the rest of you, if you do enjoy my content, then like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you wish to do, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye bye!